Hi, everybody. Welcome to a very special episode of Sunday Night Fiction Club. And tonight, it's very special because Melissa's not here, which, I'm not saying is a good thing. I'm sorry Melissa's not here. Sorry, Melissa. She's having some internet problems, unfortunately. But it's very special because look at all these faces that are here. I got some great special guest stars tonight. We have the lovely Xavier Granville. Say hello, Xavier.
Hello.
Also the also lovely Walking Rob,
Hello, hello.
and the extremely lovely Lisa Stull.
Hi.
So thank you all for guest co-hosting tonight. I see we already had some comments. Somebody said here, as Kevin Michael said, talk about an all-star team. Let's get this party started. And we're sorry we're a few minutes late. We had a couple of little technical difficulties. And Chrissy Moss reminded us at 10 o'clock that I believe it's 10 p.m. So, Chrissy, we're sorry we're a few minutes late. But we're not too late. What Melissa and I usually do when we start out these shows is we talk about what we're currently reading, since it's Sunday Night Fiction Club. So let me ask you, Mr. Granville, are you currently reading anything? I know you usually read more than one thing at a time.
Yeah, no, I'm still at that. I've got, the last time that I was on here, I'm still reading the Jim Henson biography because it is quite massive. And
last time you were on here was what, 2007? I mean, that must be a really, really big book.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think it was definitely 2007.
Yeah, no. I remember you were loving it though.
Oh yeah, it's great. Like even right now, like I've probably only gotten to about 1/3 through the book, and he's right now just up to the point where it's the second season of Sesame Street.
Oh, okay.
So the Muppet Show has not existed yet. Labyrinth, Dark Crystal. There's so much more to go. The whole big artistic end of his career up till his death, like all the real nit and gritty of kind of the stuff that like everyone knows Jim Henson for the Muppets and for Sesame Street, but what he started to become real proud of is what he was doing with Labyrinth and the Dark Crystal. So it's interesting to find out more and more about these kind of iconic people who have had this great influence over not only just children but adults and just pop culture in general. So, and yeah, it's just a fantastic read. Otherwise, I read the sample of Darren Wearmouth and Colin F. Barnes' new book, Critical Dawn, what I read of it was quite interesting. So,
oh, great! That must have just come out then, huh?
Yeah, it just launched the other day. It's I think it's up for 99 cents right now.
Oh wow! All right, Darren's a good guy. He's a friend of the show. He watches sometimes. So
yeah,
awesome. I want to check that out myself. I didn't even know it was out.
No, and it's up for 99 cents right now. I think it's just for off the usual list price of $4.99. But yeah, so far what I've read of it is good, and I'll be purchasing it soon.
Oh, fantastic!
So I can finish reading what I've read so far.
Cool. How about you, Rob? You reading anything right now?
I've kind of been reading a little bit of this book, Letters from a Stoic. It's a book on the Stoic philosophy. I've been picking and at it a little bit, but I'm not the biggest reader, so.
Cool. Letters from a Stoic. I have to check that out too. And how about you, Lisa?
Well, I'm still working my way through Miriam Kobers's Stone trilogy. I'm on the last book of that, which is really good. And I started the Audible Neil Gaiman's Neverwhere, which is really, really good.
Yeah.
And the narration, oh my God, I want him to read all books to me. All books. Whether he's written them or not.
He's got a great voice, and one thing I just shared with Lisa yesterday was the commencement speech he gave to
that was great.
Making good art. And if you've never seen that, look for Neil Gaiman commencement speech on YouTube. It's fantastic.
Was that at UArts, I think?
In Philly?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was in Philly.
Yeah, it was good.
2012. Yeah, very, very good. And I think he also published that in ebook form too.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, but check it out on YouTube if you've never seen it. And I want to listen to that Audible book there. I've never read Neverwhere, but I have it.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Cool, cool. And actually, I'm the book that I'm currently reading. I mentioned it last week. Was I had just recently started Good Omens by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett, and I'm not too far into it yet, but I really like it. So
Yeah,
far.
it's quite funny and very quirky.
Yeah, I love quirky. I love quirky, so I'm enjoying that. And speaking of quirky, well, our subject matter for tonight is a little quirky. And well, before we get into that, though, I want to check it. We get a couple little comments here. I don't want to say little comments because they're from our wonderful viewers. But Archer Caldwell rather says, "Holy moly!" Oh man, talk about quirky. Holy moly! I remembered this Sunday night. So Archer, thanks for tuning in and watching us live. Kevin Michael says, "Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs, this isn't storytelling podcast. I expect this baby to start on time." Shot there at our friends at the Storytelling Podcast. And one of them is Chrissy Moss, who is with us tonight, so thank you. And yeah, so we got those. So let's dive into our topic, though. We're going to talk about Great Morbid songs. Lisa and I were talking last night, and we were trying to think of what to do for the show tonight if Melissa wasn't going to make it. And we were talking about great summer songs, and I figured, okay, that's fun, but let's do a total flip on that, because all the summer songs are like happy Beach Boys type songs, and so let's get a little morbid here. Let's talk about, because we all have songs that are either depressing or, how did you describe it earlier, Xavier? You said not exactly depressing, but for morbid songs, the kind that you just want to rip somebody's head off of.
Yeah, well, that's what I was wondering. Like morbid, I think gross and grotesque. So like if I hear morbid, I'm starting to think of like death metal and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
so,
we can talk about any of that kind of stuff. So,
yeah, we can get into Cannibal Corpse and Cradle of Filth and all that awful stuff.
All right, well, save those thoughts.
Yeah,
for a little later.
These naughty thoughts.
Okay, I'm going to start with one. It's not so much morbid, but it's a depressing song, and it's a classic pop song. It's from the 70s, and it's She's Gone by Daryl Hall and John Oates.
Oh,
I'm sure you guys know that song.
Sing us a little.
Yeah, I wish that was a thing where we could all have, like, for each song that we bring up, just have that little sample teaser, just the bask in the depressingness.
Yeah, wouldn't that be wonderful? Wouldn't that be wonderful? I would sing it, Rob, for you, but there's the legal issues here where I can't.
Okay.
That's true. Yank it down, but
YouTube police.
Right. If you're a happy person and that song comes on, you probably will have no problem listening to that song. But say you just got out of a relationship, and especially if you were a guy and you were dumped and you're hearing She's Gone repeated over and over and over and over again, not the happiest song in the world. I know I turned that off after a few breakups. Yep. So maybe not morbid, but definitely not the happy feel-good song of the year when you're a breakup.
Yeah, exactly.
Just real quick, Chrissy Moss says, "Make good art is one of the best speeches about creativity out there, next to Ira Glass." Oh yeah, Ira Glass has got some good stuff too. David Anson also chimes in and says, "Hello, all." So hello, David.
Hello.
All right. Miss Stull, how about something that you find morbid and or depressing?
Well, it's kind of depressing. The premise of it is a little morbid, but one of my favorite songs is Gorecki's Symphony of Sorrowful Songs.
Oh,
and a lot of people don't know it, but the premise is really sad because the inspiration behind the lyrics and the whole song was he took etchings on a wall of a Gestapo prison cell that were written by an 18-year-old girl during the Second, World War, and he uses all the words that she etched into the wall as the lyrics to the song. So it's chilling but moving, and the music is beautiful. It's heart-wrenching but lovely. And,
wow.
I like sad, so
What's the title of that again?
It's a Symphony of Sorrowful Songs.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yeah, not a lot of people know that.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. Now, before the show, I know you posted, I forget where you posted it, but you actually made a playlist on...
Yes, on Spotify. Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Is that included on there?
Yes, it's on there. Yes.
Oh, fantastic. So everybody check that out. We'll try to put a link for that here later on if it's not already there. Cool. Now, Rob, how about you?
Well,
I know you were working on a list earlier in the day.
yeah, I got a list here. I was wondering the same thing about Morbid. What? So if we're going with depression songs, let me see.
We can go with Morbid though too. We can mix it up.
All right. Well, I'll start off with depressing. Do you guys know the song "Mad World" by Gary Jules? I remember it was in the Donnie Darko soundtrack.
Oh yeah. Oh
That
yeah.
just came to mind. I don't know.
Yes, I know that's a remake. I know the original version by
Yeah, it is a
Tears for
remake.
Fears. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a good one. Wow, very, very good.
Mhm.
I never saw Donnie Darko, believe it or not. I got to see that one of these days.
That's a good one.
It's a good one.
That's what I hear. All right, good choice there.
Hmm.
I got a bunch, so.
Yeah, well, all right, give us another one then.
Yeah.
I got a Death Cab for Cutie song.
Oh.
The I Will Follow You Into the Dark. I don't know. It's kind of emo songs. These are all under my emo section.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm not familiar with that. It sounds like Lisa is.
Yeah. I like it. Depressing girl.
Let's see how depressing we can get.
Well, we're still laughing, so that's a good sign. Now, speaking of depressing, a group that I was kind of, well, you know what, I'm lying there. I was never super into this group, but I was into one of the performers from the group when he went solo. But the Smiths, I don't know how familiar you guys are with the Smiths, an English band that was really popular in the 80s. And a lot of their stuff was not anything that was going to make you want to, I don't know.
Jump up for joy in any means.
Right, exactly. You're not going to like skip down the street in happiness. One of their songs is called "Heaven Knows I'm Miserable Now," which is a great, great song. I was watching the video on YouTube a little while ago. YouTube has got a ton of Smith's videos on there. You might want to check out Rhino Records, their page on YouTube. They've got a lot of great 80s stuff on there. They keep adding and adding and adding. But that's good. But I was into Morrissey, who's the lead singer and songwriter for the Smiths, and I was very into his solo stuff. And he's got a lot of depressing stuff too. There's one called Ouija Board, where he's trying to contact a dead friend, and November spawned a monster. It was just like all this really like kind of, it's not, I look back now and I'm like, I can't believe I listened to this stuff all the time and didn't want to like hurt somebody or hurt myself, because it's not happy music. One other song by the Smiths though, which I liked a lot, it's called Girlfriend in a Coma. Do you guys know that song?
Oh, yeah, you posted a link for that the other night. That was the first time I'd heard it. I like that. Yeah,
it's great. It's like this catchy little song, and he's singing all about his girlfriend being in a coma, and he's gonna.
I'm not going in a coma. FYI.
I don't want you to go in a coma. I don't want you to go in a coma.
Not now.
What's that, Rob?
I just said, don't sing it too much.
Yeah. It's unavoidable. You're going in a coma. You can put it off for long, but eventually you're going to go into a coma.
And honey, you have said that lately you haven't been like sleeping like you need to.
All right. That'd be perfect.
Maybe a few days rest. Doesn't have to be long.
Yay.
Think of it like hibernation.
There you go. Xavier, how about you? Morbid, depressing?
Morbid, depressing. Let me think here. Yeah, definitely that All By Myself song. Was Celine Dion. Who did the original one, buddy?
The original was Eric Carmen in the 70s.
Yeah.
Not Eric Cartman. Eric Carmen.
Eric Carmen.
Yeah. Now, I was
Eric Man who is a car man.
Now, you said you heard that at a particular time where it was especially depressing for you. You were telling me earlier.
Yeah, no, this was late night in a grocery store. Like it was open 24 hours around Christmas time. In Canada, we don't, like, especially in small town Canada, you don't see the 24-hour grocery stores very much. So during Christmas time, because of the whole rush and all the blah blah blah, some stores are open 24 hours, and it was really late at night. There was no one in the entire grocery store except for me and my cart, and I'm grabbing deli meat, and suddenly, all by myself, and I suddenly just think that myself as just like the lowest form of creature on this planet. I'm alone in this supermarket looking at pastrami. This song is playing. I'm hating life. So I decide I have to bail. I gotta get out of there.
Just leave your cart.
Yeah, I actually did. I just because I only at that point only had like the pastrami in the cart, so I just put it back, left the cart, then it went home. But as I was leaving the store, friggin' Mellow Yellow comes on the radio.
Oh, great!
Yeah, so that A&P was really giving me some mixed signals that night. That random grocery store in the middle of nowhere was really just trying to mess with my head. Or at least I took it personally.
That's great. I got some comments I want to bring up here. And this is from our good friend Kevin Michael. And he says, does anyone find it ironic that Xavier is on a podcast with Rob, who has a nip it in the bud poster on his wall? I don't know.
What?
I don't know what that means.
What are you trying to say?
Kevin likes to always involve some sort of marijuana reference whenever I'm involved.
And this is from a first-time live viewer, but a good friend of the show and a good friend of ours, and that's Mr. Archer Caldwell again. He said, my take on Morbid songs, 24 by Gem on the album Finally Woken. It's about someone who has been given a day to tie up loose ends. Oh, I'm not familiar with that, but that's really an intriguing premise for a song there. Very cool.
I have to check out all these songs after the podcast and cry myself to sleep.
And go ahead.
Got that going for us.
I want to bring one up from I don't want to bring that one up again. Sorry. Sometimes you lose these things here. Kevin Michael says, Garbage has a song called It's All Over But the Crying. Wow. And that makes me think of a song by Sting called I'm So Happy I Can't Stop Crying, which definitely has a lot of depressing thoughts in there, but it's also got a happy ending to it. So, and also, this is the one I wanted to bring up from David Anson. He says, not sure if this is morbid or creepy. Excitable Boy by Warren Zevon. He took little Susie to the junior prom, excitable boy, they all said, and he raped her and killed her. Then he took her home, excitable boy, they all said. I do know that song, and it's another one of those songs where if you're listening to it, it's got like a really great beat to it. You know, if you're driving in the car, you're going to be playing on your steering wheel and doing little solos and singing along, and you think, oh, I'm an excitable boy, I'm happy. But then you look at that, you know, it's not. You know,
well, that's Warren Zevon too. You know, like that's just the way that he seems to roll.
Yeah. He was a talented songwriter. He definitely had some very interesting lyrics.
Yeah, well, that's just it. Really, basic poppy rock, like good, head bobbing music. Nothing too confrontational. Just like this is nice, but when you pay attention to the lyrics, like what is this guy talking about?
Right. Well, even look at Werewolves of London. You know, that's like probably his biggest song, and you're going to hear that every Halloween, and people are thinking, oh, good, it's a fun little song about werewolves. But listen to the lyrics there. Warren was Well, he was a unique guy. Very, very great talent, and he left us way too soon. Oh, and speaking of someone who left us way too soon, well, maybe not way too soon. She died at 88 today, but Ann B. Davis, who played Alice on The Brady Bunch, passed away today. I'm sure it's all over the web right now, so thanks for the memories there, Ann B. Davis. You were everybody's favorite housekeeper. Now if I hear the Brady Bunch theme song, I'm going to be sad. That's going to be like depressing.
Add it to the list.
Okay, speaking of lists, Lisa, I know you've got some other things.
Let's see. Sono Andati, which is from Puccini's La Bohème. That's Italian for have gone. That was like a really heart-wrenching, tear-jerking part. I'm sure like everyone listens to opera here, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I dabble.
A devil. But Puccini had a lot of sad songs, like even the opera Madame Butterfly, which I'm sure people have heard of.
Oh, yeah.
You know, yeah. There's a lot of opera in general is just it's usually all very sad.
Yeah, it tends to be.
Yeah, Mozart's Requiem is another one of my favorites. You know, all those, but deeply moving and sad, but beautiful. So.
I remember the scene, and I don't know a lot of opera music, but remember the movie Philadelphia with
Yes.
Tom Hanks? There was one very memorable scene in there where he was listening to, and I don't know the piece of music, but it was an opera song, and you know, it was just so emotional because he's there and he's like he's crying, and it was very intense. And that music, you know, even though I can't understand a word of it, you know,
It reaches
it's just like
you.
it does, just the emotion and the vocals and the orchestration, it really does reach you.
Yeah, beautiful.
Very beautiful. Let me consult my list again. And now this is one that most people would not think is a depressing song. But Lisa and I heard this last week. You know what I'm talking about. And that's Upside Down by Diana Ross. Are you guys familiar with that song? Probably not, Robin and Xavier, but I think it was from the early '80s. It had like that whole disco beat. She's like, upside down, you turn me.
Oh yeah.
You instinctively. Round and round, you turn me like that, and it's you listen to it. It's got a great beat. You could dance to it. You sing along the upside down parts. But she keeps singing in there about the man she's in love with who's cheating on her. She's like, respectfully, I say to thee, I'm aware that you're cheating, but no one makes me feel the way that you do. It's like he's cheating on her, and she's saying, but you know what? It's okay. No one makes me feel the way you do. And
Love is strange.
Ain't that the truth? Yeah. But yeah, and I've heard this song like since the '80s, and it didn't hit me until last week. Just like I'm like, you know, I can never listen to this the same way again. Bringing me down, Diana Ross. You're bringing me down.
As she tends to do.
Yeah, she does. She does.
Oh, that Diana Ross. Always bringing you down.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I noticed in the comments that both Kevin and Chrissy have brought up Pearl Jam.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
So yeah, Pearl Jam's Jeremy is about a kid that commits suicide in front of everyone in his class. And I don't mind that song, but I can't find it depressing because anything with Eddie Vedder singing on it makes me laugh so much. Share my all. It's not words. It's just a bunch of like strange consonants and vowel sounds that are supposed to mimic human life. He was like, I don't know what you're saying, sir. I need to look at the lyrics sheet. Like pretty much everything from Seattle in the '90s, I can get behind except for Pearl Jam.
I have to say, I liked Pearl Jam for like their first 3 albums, I think, and then that was the things you just said that really hit me. I'm like, you know, I've been paying money for their CDs, and I can't understand most of what Eddie is singing. And it's really not making me feel too good. Yeah, the music's pretty good. But and you know, Jeremy's another funny one where I think a lot it was like this probably their biggest hit, you know, I guess arguably their biggest hit. But I think a lot of people don't know what it was really singing about. You know, they're probably thinking, oh, Jeremy spoke in class today, he raised his hand and answered a question. You know, no, there was much more going on than that.
Well, that's just it. And that's why I think it got it had that spread, because I think people didn't understand it enough, and because they thought it was such a simple message that's why it was on the radio. People were like, oh, this is a simple song, and they didn't get into the subtext, so let's put this on the radio and see what happens.
Right. And like you said, I mean, I think there's a lot of that, like in that whole grunge period. Let's face it, most of the grunge stuff from especially the early '90s was not like the happiest music in the world. Look at Nirvana too. I mean, let's face it, Kurt Cobain, he never would have like guest starred on Sesame Street. He was not like he was not a happy man.
I would love to see that though.
Oh, I would too. Maybe him and Jim Henson hang out.
That's at the end of the book.
It's just like a competition of who has the stronger addiction, Cookie Monster to cookies or Kurt Cobain to heroin. Cookies, heroin. What cookies? Heroin.
That would have been a great episode. That would have
Exactly.
been fantastic. Rob, you got some more stuff there for us?
Well, yes. Let me see. For depression, I have a song called "Body in a Box" by City and Color,
Oh, I know that one.
and that's a depressing song. I don't know.
I
I got
find-
some other ones down here for more along the lines of what Xavier was talking about in the beginning. The
With some heavy metal stuff.
some heavy metal stuff, some horror rap stuff.
Oh, good.
Eminem.
Oh yeah, you could, Eminem. There you go. He's one of my. Everyone knows he's one of my favorite performers. Yeah, yeah. No, but you guys can talk about Eminem. That's fine.
I got two Eminem songs down
Yeah, what
here
are they?
where he talks about murder and all that kind of stuff.
Only
One
two?
is-
Come on.
Yeah, one is called 3 a.m.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
think that's like the witching hour,
Mm-hmm.
they say.
It's not a remake of Matchbox 20's 3 a.m. either.
I don't think so.
Okay, I didn't think so.
And then he's got a song Buffalo Bill, which is about, all that Buffalo Bill stuff. I don't know.
He's got one that's really creepy. Music Box. Have you ever listened to that one? That one's really
I don't know.
that one's really creepy. That one's super demented and definitely morbid. Yeah.
Oh wow.
And then there's the whole genre of rap that's like horrorcore, they call it, I guess.
Mhm.
And that's like with ICP and Insane
Yeah.
Clown Posse and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of ICP. I don't like dress up or anything like that, but I've got all the records. I rap music is all indistinguishable unless it has a different message about it.
Yeah.
And with Insane Clown Posse, they're rapping about cutting heads off and and stuff, and it's just hilarious. That it just makes me laugh a lot.
Yeah.
It's some of the most disgusting things that they rap about.
Now, it's funny. I've always heard of Insane Clown Posse, but I didn't really know much about. I knew it was pretty hardcore stuff. So, is it more rap than metal? I always got an impression it was metal.
Yeah, it's definitely rap, but
It's
it
all
has.
rap.
It's got there's some distortion guitars in some records every now and then, but it's definitely has kind of a rock rap to it, but it's not so much to be as being like how like Limp Bizkit or any
It's
of
a
those
little
guys
new
were.
metal-y, a little
Yeah.
bit, some of it.
Yeah, but it didn't go all the way. Like how Linkin Park is like a band, but they have rap.
Right.
I wouldn't say that ICP is a band that has
It's
rap.
more
They're-
on the beats, not
not them. Yeah.
instruments. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all like basic rap beats, but every now and then they might have some distortion guitar. But what I love about ICP is they use a lot of really old samples to horror films, like old
okay.
Night of the Living Dead stuff, and just ooh yeah, it's the creeping hour.
Oh, nice, nice.
And they have multiple groups, like,
Dark
under their
Lotus.
label and stuff. Yeah, that's one I wrote down. Dark Lotus, Grave Robbers. It's a song about robbing graves.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
Nice.
kind of funny. It's weird. It's stuff I listened to when I was younger, you know.
Yeah, likewise. When I was in high school, we definitely listened to quite a bit of Dark Lotus and ICP.
Wow. Okay, I've never heard of Dark Lotus before.
No, basically, if you get into Insane Clown Posse, you'll get into all these other bands that are very much in the same kind of vein.
Lisa and I have been talking about songs to play at our possible wedding reception someday. So do you
These are great.
recommend those two bands? Yeah, we're just gonna compile a list from tonight's show.
The most, they'll just be the most depressing event, and and then you
You
just
can all wear black.
yeah. No, you'll suddenly throw on Bowling Balls by ICP, where it's about cutting people's heads off, putting them in your basement, and keeping them there for company.
Conveniently enough, my grandmother loves that kind of music, so and everything. Be wonderful. Yeah, here's something, a far cry from ICP. This is a comment from Chrissy Moss, and she mentions The Coors, which is Celtic pop, has a few songs that I listen to on repeat when I'm really, lost it for a second, when I'm really sad. Somebody for Someone especially. It's about a girl selling her body, and she says, look at me, see me, save me, find me. Okay, I'm not familiar with that. I am familiar with The Coors. I remember they had, I guess they're still around and still popular, but I know they had some really good songs.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome, good one there, Chrissy. Thank you for sharing that. Had something else said here. This is from Mr. Kevin Michael, and he says, what about Who Let the Dogs Out? What happened to those lost dogs?
Oh, they got put down. Those dogs got put down.
Those dogs later appeared in a commercial with Sarah McLachlan's.
Yeah, you saw the music video. Those dogs, they caused such a havoc throughout that small town. They had to put them down. So, they had to.
Well, sorry to hear that. I'm going to have a hard time listening to that song now.
Yeah. Knowing those dogs be dead.
Oh, David Anson says, speaking of Seattle bands, Polly by Nirvana. My brother John actually mentioned that one earlier, too.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Super depressing as far as
It is. Another one, though, Polly wants a cracker. If you go, okay, thinking about a little bird, but not so much.
No.
Here's one that's a kind of a depressing song, but it's another classic that's from the 70s, and that's Fire and Rain by James Taylor. Everyone knows that, but he's actually singing about, this woman who died. Talks about, the plane. There's actually a plane crash that he's singing about and everything, and another catchy little tune you'll sing along to, but not real happy.
Yeah. Well, I like that in songs like that. Oh, I just on the same topic. There's one by a band from Ireland called Delamitri.
Oh, yeah, I like Delamitri.
Yeah, Driving with the Brakes On.
Oh, I haven't heard that in years.
Yeah. That's a great song, and that one, by the lyrics, it kind of seems just like it's all about a couple driving at night looking for their lost child, but actually really what it's about is that they're driving home after they've just had an abortion.
Yeah, I forgot all about that one. Wow.
And so it just really hits home that they're out there looking for answers, and it's like that silence of realizing what all that just has happened and what they have to deal with and all that stuff. So it's really a poignant and beautiful song, but very depressing.
It is very depressing, but I love when groups can have something like that, that's really a deep song. You said poignant, but they're known for that song "Always the Last to Know," which was a great catchy pop song, and it shows the diversity you can have with songwriting, and
they're definitely a good band for that.
Yeah, they are. Do you remember their song "Not Where It's At"? Xavier, do you like them?
Yeah, no, I've listened to quite a few of their albums.
I love that song. That's a great song.
I really liked "Spit in the Rain" by them.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta break out my I have a Delamitri's Greatest Hits CD. I gotta listen to that later. Okay, awesome. Lisa,
they're a cool band.
Yeah. Hi. Do you have something else for us?
Okay, so when I was a kid, my favorite this is really, it's weird. My favorite song was Chopin's Funeral March. Isn't that sad?
That was your favorite when you were a kid?
Yeah.
How old? I'm just kidding.
Little, 4, 5.
Wow.
Yeah. The sadness goes deep rooted. Yeah.
Now I'm just curious. How is a 4 or 5-year-old exposed to that kind of music? I mean,
well, my grandfather studied classical music for a long time, and then I started playing piano at 3. So, yeah. So that's. Yeah, everything depressing and sad on the piano I played.
Oh, wow. I love this comment from Chrissy Moss. Let me bring this one up. Wish I could do this a little quicker. She says, I like how you guys are talking about morbid and sad songs and laughing your heads off. That's us.
The crying will come later.
Right when our cameras turn off.
Yeah. All right. It was nice talking to you all. Good night in love.
Well, let's keep the depressing stuff going here. That is this is from Archer Caldwell. Nowhere Man, Run for Your Life. Rubber Soul is my favorite album. My wedding song was In My Life. Notice the Beatles mug. He's mentioned the Beatles. Yeah, the Beatles. You know, they had some like depressing stuff there too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Eleanor Rigby's pretty darn depressing.
Yeah.
As is Blackbird.
Yeah, I love that song.
Yeah, that's a great song. I think I missed another one here. We got a lot of comments, so everyone who's watching, you know, thank you so much for your comments. I'm sorry, I got lost here. Archer Caldwell says, so Detroit rap is what gets you guys?
I guess.
Yeah, I love me some Detroit rap. That's and it's funny how, you know, like there can be a happy song, but you associate it with like a bad situation in your life, and then all of a sudden it's a depressing song to you. Like for me, an example of that is one you hear at a lot of weddings, and that's the chicken dance.
And that song's depressing to you for other reasons other than
because
making mockery of the dance?
Well, first of all, you know, let's talk about the way chickens are mistreated in this country. There's one reason to be depressed about that song right there.
Oh, God.
Now, my Aunt Phyllis actually was doing the chicken dance at a wedding, and I'm laughing now. I'm sorry, Aunt Phyllis. But she, like, slipped and fell, and she, like, broke her arm.
Oh.
Yeah, but I guess it didn't make me that sad. I'm here laughing about it, so I guess I've overcome my fear of the chicken dance, and it's not going to make me cry anymore at a wedding. So. Thank you three for helping me get through that.
Just talk it out, buddy.
I did, and it worked. So
yeah, I just don't think we're doing you any service by allowing you to be able to listen to that song again.
I think you're right. That's what songs like that is when.
Is that what
decided,
good friends would do?
That's the kind of song where if I hear it, I was like, that's a good reason to like go and take your bathroom break. You leave the ceremony or you go to the bathroom.
I actually have the Hokey Pokey written down.
Do you really? Dude, how can you have that written down? I mean, that's what it's all about.
Well, yeah, in the same vein, whenever I hear "Singing in the Rain," I don't think about "Singing in the Rain." I think about Clockwork Orange and like the guy getting the shit kicked out of him while his wife gets raped.
I remember that.
So yeah, whenever I hear "Singing in the Rain," it's like singing in the rape.
Yeah, Malcolm McDowell just like, you know, kick it and everything. Yeah.
Tap dancing.
Yeah. I actually like that was a great film. I remember the first time I saw that, I actually got the flu while watching that movie. I like sat down like perfectly fine at the beginning of it, and I'm loving it. Singing in the Rain comes on, but then all of a sudden the flu hit me, and by the end of the movie, I was just like, never forget that.
Well, it's obviously because you got it in the rain.
Yeah. That's what it was, yeah.
Damn rain.
You know, Xavier, you had mentioned All By Myself.
Yeah.
I hope you heard the Eric Carmen version and not the...
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
But the one that played at the grocery store at the time was the Celine Dion one.
Yeah,
so
she makes
even more.
That.
Yeah, and it's just so much more high pitched and whiny.
Imagine that coming from Celine Dion.
I know.
Sorry if you're watching.
Go figure. Oh, and she is.
Well, the segue that I was working on there was that I did a little research before the show, and I found a book called I Hate Myself and Want to Die, the 52 Most Depressing Songs You've Ever Heard. Apparently it's a popular book by someone named Tom Reynolds. It was published in 2005, and he analyzes 52 songs and ranks them in order of what he thinks is the most depressing. I'll touch on a couple of these songs, and later on I'll say what was number one. But here's a holiday classic that's depressing. That's Same Old Lang Syne by Dan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to skip ones that I don't know, okay? But Landslide by Fleetwood Mac.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you skipped Love Will Tear Us Apart by Joy Division.
Yeah, I don't know that.
That one's that's an 80s one, and yeah, very just kind of like what like picture like synth pop with a kind of a crooner vocalist, so like very low and sensual.
That was
Could you
pretty
make
good.
that a little sexy?
Yeah, so it's like love will tear us apart. It's so it's very very depressing, but kind of like this 80s rock synth stuff, and yeah, it's very I think the singer, I'm not sure. There was something around his death. I think he killed himself. The singer.
Oh wow. Yeah, I think you're right.
There's something weird with that guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember all about it.
Yeah, I'll skip around a little bit on this list, but here's another classic, Captain Jack by Billy Joel. The classic song you hear on classic rock. But yeah, he sings about they just found your father in the swimming pool, and yeah, a lot of happy lines like that in it. The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald by Gordon Lightfoot, fellow Canadian there, viewers, Xavier.
Yep.
Send in the Clowns, that was done by various artists.
Yeah, that is really depressing.
Yeah, that really is. It has nothing to do with, fun clowns, that's for sure.
No.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be cool if Tim Curry was in the music video for that, though, from as Pennywise from
It, yeah.
It, yes. Without You by Mariah Carey. It was originally done by Badfinger, I think, in the 60s. I Can't Live, Living Is Without You. It was a Harry Nilsson song. Here's a 70s song that I've always loved, Alone Again, Naturally. Do you guys know that, by Gilbert O'Sullivan?
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Yeah, that's a good tune. You had to look that up, Xavier. Let Her Cry by Hootie and the Blowfish. Yeah, that's a sad one. Beth by Kiss. I never really thought about it, but that is kind of a sad song.
Yeah. That's probably Kiss's saddest song. It's nowhere near God of Thunder.
Now here's one, I guess it would be considered a sad song, but I never took it that way. It's The End by The Doors.
Oh.
Yeah, I find that one's just it's definitely has some of that morbid with the ending of the song, where it's all like talking about the boy walking down the door and putting his shoes on and saying, Father, I want to kill you, and Mother, I want to fuck you.
Right.
It gets pretty weird at the end, and so yeah, and that's why on most copies of that song, it's edited because all the live performance, he says, Father, I want to kill you, Mother, I want to fuck you, but the on the recordings, it's always just like, Mother, I want to.
I remember reading in one of the books about the Doors that apparently when that album came out, it was off of the Doors' first album. Someone brought it over to Jim Morrison's parents' house and played the album, and they were rather estranged at that point, and Jim Morrison's father was just had the newspaper in front of him, reading the newspaper, and it got to that part, and you just see him shaking the newspaper, because he was just so frustrated, which understandable.
My son is off his rocker.
A couple more songs from this list. I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston. Interesting. Not quite as sad as I Want to Dance with Somebody Who Loves Me, but that's okay. My Immortal by Evanescence.
Oh yeah. That's a good one. Forgot about that. Yeah.
For the year that came out, that was in so many films during funeral scenes.
Yeah, you're right.
Because of that damn Daredevil movie.
There was another one too that it showed up around the same era. I think. Well, it might even been earlier, but Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday. It was some boy band in the 80s or 90s, and it was the same thing. It was in funeral scenes. I remember that. Yeah, you get a good sad song, man. It shows up in a ton of movies. Just do a couple more. Oh, I'm going to skip one because I want to talk about this group later. One by Metallica.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Hurt by 9 Inch Nails.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 9 Inch Nails is good.
Is that the same Hurt that Johnny Cash did, or was that a different song?
Yeah, no, it's the same song, but some people think the 9 Inch Nails one is a little sadder because of just all the 9 Inch Nails instruments, But I don't know. I think the Johnny Cash version is a little bit sadder, just because it's so stripped down and bare bones, just a man and a guitar.
And I was actually aware of that one before I was aware of the Nine Inch Nails version.
A lot of people were, yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing the video, and it was shot in black and white, and he was just so old and so worn looking, and it just seemed to fit perfect. It was just quite moving. I'll skip around here. I'll just pick out the number ones. Oh wait, no, Xavier, here's one of your favorites: "Total Eclipse of the Heart" by Bonnie Tyler.
Yeah, that song just makes me laugh so much. It's because we had a couple of friends of mine. We had done like a worst mix CD competition, where we would just get if you put on this CD in a party situation and there was nothing that you could do to change it or turn it down, it's like this CD is stuck and everyone has to listen to it. This is the one CD that will make you enemies faster than you could ever conceive. So we each of us, we gave submissions of these CDs, and mine began with "Girlfriend" by Avril Lavigne. Because it's really loud and obnoxious right off the get-go. It just starts off with, hey, you don't like this goddamn song. No, you don't like this song. hey, you, and you goddamn know it. But
everybody leaves the party.
Yeah, exactly. And if they didn't then they would have left when the second song plays, and it's "Photographed" by Nickelback.
Oh,
Buddy's favorite.
Yeah. How ironic, though. I mean, because Avril Lavigne, ended up, what did she marry? Chad Kroeger from Nickelback, or she was dating him for a while, and that's a shame because she's a cute girl, and he's
a what?
I'll stop. He's not my favorite guy.
No, to me, he looks like a wet mop.
I can see that.
Like, that just yells, "Yeah!" a lot. Like, I remember when Nickelback used to have lyrics, and now they're just, "Come on, yeah!" They're just trailer trash music now.
Pretty much.
I saw Chrissy Moss brought up Sweeney Todd.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that comment.
Yeah, the pre-Hollywood one. So I don't know whether you're talking about like the stage, like the play, the musical. I've seen that live. That was awesome. And yeah, very depressing as far as about a man who's shipped away to prison on false terms because the rich guy desires the wife, and the wife goes insane, and while the guy's away, he becomes even more crazy. Comes back, opens a barber shop, and starts slitting throats. So everything is a very dark subject matter. There is no
morbid.
Yeah, it's definitely morbid, but also very sad. And they're like the one song, I think it's called like "My Friends" or "Diamonds" or "Rubies" or something like that, where he's just singing to his like barber's blades, where he would just like cut people's throats after he shaves them down. But there's like this one song where he's just like singing to it, and just like, "We are gonna do all these good deeds, all people are gonna pay," and it's just a really lovely little scene where he's he's totally insane.
Wow. Now with the movie version, what was that a Tim Burton thing? Did he do a movie of Johnny Depp, of course?
Yeah. It was okay, but I think
decent.
Yeah, like Johnny Depp didn't do a horrible job, but I thought Helena Bonham Carter was really laughable. Like, don't do a music. Yeah, well, that's just it. That like Tim Burton's married to her, so it's just like he's got to keep her making money. Otherwise, she won't be around the house as much. Don't be going anywhere. I got you a movie all lined up. You don't have to leave the house.
Another musical that was, definitely not the most cheerful thing in the world was Les Miserables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Les Miserables Blues.
Yeah. When who's help me with her name? Anne
Hathaway?
Thank you, Anne Hathaway. Did you see the movie, Lisa?
I did. I hate her.
Oh, you do? Wow.
Well, okay.
Even as Catwoman in the last Batman movie?
Her mouth bothers me when she sings. It does. She looks like she has a problem. I don't care for it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. When
She
she
Jackman was nice.
She wanted to win an Oscar, and she done did it.
She done did it. I thought she did. Just, oh my God, when she sang that one song, though, that I dreamed a dream I don't know, to be in a movie with Hugh Jackman and win an Oscar, that song, I mean, that was moving, and that was sad, man. I cried in the movie theater. I mean, that was just intense.
And
have you ever seen it on have you seen it on Broadway? It's amazing.
Yeah, I haven't.
Yeah, I saw it on Broadway as a kid, like sometime in when I was in public school or something like that. So to see it redone was really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And I always, whenever I think of Les Miserables, I always just think of Seinfeld, of when George has Master of the House, the song stuck in the head, so he's just walking around just like, Master of the House, keeper of the thing.
I forgot about that.
Jerry, I got it stuck in my head again!
Awesome.
Oh!
Rob, what else you got for us?
Well, I got another one, basically just a band that I listened to when I was a young, depressed teenager, and that's Dashboard Confessionals.
Oh, good bringback, yeah.
I don't know.
That is definitely sad. That is definitely more.
Another one where it's just a guy and his guitar, so.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Was he Dashboard Confessional? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Would I know any of the songs? Did they have any popular songs?
Hands Down.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was Vindicated. That one was on.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Okay, that sounds familiar.
It's because that one was on I think it was the Spider-Man 2 soundtrack. It was on one of the Spider-Man movies.
Gotcha.
But yeah, just very one man and a guitar. He's got a really whiny voice, so it makes it even more depressing. But that's why it's good too.
It's good. He's good. He's a good songwriter and singer.
Yeah, he is good. It's very depressing music, and that's why it gets that emo tag, emo, emotional music. So
cool.
I don't know.
Chrissy said this, and I'm not sure what she's referring to. You forgot. They ground them up and fed them to the people.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Sweeney Todd. Right?
Sweeney Todd. Yeah. Well,
they put it in meat pies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yum yum.
I sounds like I really need to see that.
Oh, you do.
Yeah. It's probably my favorite musical, just because it's you got all the good dark bits of the whole storyline, but you get your nice emotional stuff and just the damnation and all this stuff. So
you know who would be great in that? Jeff Goldblum. Don't you think?
Jeff Goldblum in Sweeney Todd.
How would he do that?
I don't. I wouldn't. No, I can't think. The other day I was joking with my friends of just if instead of Heath Ledger for the Joker, it had been Jay Baruchel. The guy from Popular Mechanics for Kids and Knocked Up, and he's.
Oh, okay.
He's just a Canadian guy. He's neurotic. So if it had been Jay Baruchel as the Joker, it would have been just Batman must take off his mask and turn himself in. Otherwise, people will die starting tonight.
He was in This Is the End, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
Yeah, and he played
That was a
himself.
funny movie. That was
Yeah,
Yeah, that was good.
yeah, I quite enjoyed it.
yeah, that was really good.
At the very end of the movie, when the Backstreet Boys song kicks in, that when him and Seth Rogen are having their moment drifting off to heaven, like they're going to heaven, and the Backstreet Boys kicks in. You won me over. You can't do any wrong. This movie's too stupid. I loved it.
Lisa, do you have any others on your list?
Not that I can think of. Those were like the main ones.
Oh,
And
okay.
there's a whole bunch on my playlist. So.
Right, I'm really anxious to listen to your playlist later on. We do an album of the week feature here on my show, and on this week's album of the week, I have. Does anyone recognize this yet?
Mm-hmm.
You do, Xavier?
Yep.
Okay, and this would be The Joshua Tree by U2.
By U2.
Yeah, U2 are awesome. But U2 also not the happiest bunch of guys in the world sometimes. Had some great songs on this one. Where the Streets Have No Name. I still haven't found what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
With or Without You. Bullet the Blue Sky. A lot of good songs. One of theirs that I loved for a long time was Sunday Bloody Sunday, and that's not.
Yeah, likewise. That's probably one of my favorite songs by them.
At least our picture fell down. I'm sorry.
Oh, nice.
No, that's a good.
Curses and cranberries.
When your picture falls down next to a U2 album cover, it's a good sign. It's a good omen.
Is it? Oh.
It
A
says
fairy gets its wings. Aw, you hear that? A fairy gets its wings. You want the moon? I can get the moon for you.
Fantastic. Oh, Xavier, it's always good to have you on the show.
I like to hear that.
I had asked on Facebook earlier what people's opinions were. My friend Kirk Weissman, who's a local musician, real talented musician,
Okay.
he had said Every Breath You Take by the Police.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, I think it's a good one. And Sting, he can be kind of a dark guy.
Mm-hmm.
I find that song, and it can have both morbid and depressing connotations, because then, like, you don't know whether it's just like I'll be watching you, or it's just like I will be watching you.
Very Stalker-esque there.
Yeah, exactly. So it might be morbid, or it might be morbid.
One of my favorite bands that I meant to mention, and I'm going to mention obviously, is Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd's like in my top 5 favorite groups, and they've got a lot of depressing stuff. I mean, I guess I don't know if you're all familiar with The Wall.
Yeah.
But, I mean, The Wall, it's all about this character going through his own personal hell, and dealing with like a mother who really domineered him as a child because his father was killed in World War II before he was even born. And there's some, you got Comfortably Numb on there, which that made the list, the top 100 list. Yeah, there's a song, I think it's the end of the second CD. It's called Goodbye Cruel World, which is pretty much like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just trying to remember which song that I'm thinking of as what's the most depressing on that album. I think it's like Don't Leave Me Now.
Yeah.
That's the one that starts off all slow, and then he brings out like Don't Be So Frightened. There's the suitcase on the left. There's my favorite axe and all that stuff.
Yeah,
where he's talking about having the hooker in his in his trailer, and basically just like trying to. The groupie wants to have sex with him, and he just ends up cutting her up with an axe.
Yeah, it's really something. And then there's that line in, I think it's in Hey You, where it says, no matter how he tried, he could not break free, and the worms ate into his brain. It's great lyric, but, it's depressing stuff. And a lot of especially their latter-day stuff was like that. I don't think their earlier stuff was quite so depressing. But,
they were too busy doing drugs.
There may have been some drug usage going on there.
Well, that's like Sid Barrett, their original guitar player. That's why that's why David Gilmour replaced him.
Yeah, exactly.
Eventually, Sid Barrett, like, he just became nothing. Like
Yeah.
there he was, a couple lights going off, maybe in his head, but most of it was just acid.
Yeah, well, before Garrett was, I mean, before Gilmore was a full-time member, they hired him to go on the road with them because they just couldn't control Barrett anymore. He'd be like in the middle of a song and just like walk off the stage or just stop playing, and they wanted Gilmore to like pick up the parts that Barrett couldn't play. I mean, it's unfortunate because he was a great talent, but drugs really,
They screwed him up.
life. Yeah. And you got to hand it to the band for like carrying on and like going to a whole new level. I mean, and Roger Waters, he became like the central songwriter there, especially with the lyrics and for The Wall and everything after that. But brilliant songwriter. One of my favorite songwriters for sure. And his solo stuff's really good too. A lot of people, if you're a Floyd fan and you're not familiar with Roger Waters' solo stuff, especially his "Amused to Death" album, which was his last solo album, really, really good. Check that out.
Yep,
That Pink Floyd took me to a depressing place for a second there.
I'm sorry.
Oh boy.
Think happy thoughts, my friend. Think happy.
Yeah, look at the poster behind you and remind yourself. No Pink Floyd. No.
Don't listen.
And for anyone who's watching who's not aware of this, I had Rob on my show the other night on Buddy's Writing Show, which you can find on my other channel here on YouTube. Rob's got a new book that just came out this past week called Nip the Bud. The quickest way, is it the fastest way? The quickest way. The fastest way to quit, guaranteed. It's available for 99 cents right now. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so if you have problems with weed or anything else, Rob's strategies in there I think could help you with your addiction. So check that out. So guys, I think we're going to...
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Hi.
I'm joking.
No, he's not.
No, I'm really glad that you're doing that though, like, because I think that is a topic that's not really brought up a lot, because as much as there is like there's the old school pharmacology method, ideally that ideology that drugs are just going to make you crazy, but then there's this lax method, the way that people are thinking nowadays, where it's like, it's just weed, it's not addictive, it's not like a thing like that. None of that's true, like on either side. But there are realities. You're like right now, our bodies are addicted to air. We need air. Like we need to realize that there is addiction. But it goes a lot further than what we already understand it to be. So for marijuana, studies haven't been done enough for us to be able to tell. And it's good that you're taking that step to be able to have some writing out on that, because more of it needs to be done. Like otherwise, we're just going to be still stereotyping drug use as being something that's either frowned upon or cool to do.
Dude. Yeah, it's not black and white, No, I just think there's some people who, want to quit,
and can't. It's a real thing.
And everybody around them's either saying it's the devil, or they're saying no, it's fine. It's not the weed,
It's you.
Yeah.
Right.
It could be so many things. It could be a combination of any one of them, and you got to ask these questions, not just think that you're doing the right thing by going on with any method of quitting, or just think about this stuff before you decide to either quit something or keep going at it. Like you need to realize what the faults and what the strengths are to whatever you're doing.
I'm gonna continue with my bud addiction. I like it.
Oh, you mean me?
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
Okay.
Buddy.
Do you have a little weed problem? I don't know.
Scared you for a second there, buddy?
I wanted to know why she wasn't sharing. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. One thing I was going to say, well, thank you for that too, Lisa. I'm addicted to you as well. One thing I wanted to say along with what Xavier was saying that I think is great about you doing this book too is the fact that you don't hear weed talked about as much as you do with other drugs. And now that it's become legal in Colorado and California and maybe some other places in the upcoming future, I think people are hearing that and they're not looking at it as the problem that it really is for a lot of people. And I know, and I think it's great that you're doing the book, and I think your own personal journey and the success you've had is fantastic. So congratulations to you, and I encourage people to check out your book.
Thank you, buddy.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I thank all three of you for being on the show tonight. It was a lot of fun. Like Chrissy said, we did an awful lot of laughing and smiling over morbid and depressing songs. So thank you three.
Yeah, that means we did it right.
That's right, brother. We did it right. We did it right. And I encourage our viewers to check out the websites of my friends here. Look for them on Facebook and Twitter and Google+. I know they're all active there. So, and you can check me out at buddygott.com. I just published a new short story today that's on there. And I also just did a Wattpad thing. Xavier, I got to talk to you about that. I just opened a Wattpad account, so I got some stuff to learn from you on that. So, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Melissa Lummis will hopefully have her internet problems taken care of next week, so she'll be back next Sunday night. And I think next Sunday night we're going to be talking about what we were originally going to talk about tonight, and that's great summer fiction. We'll be talking about great summer movies, great summer books, maybe some beach reads, music, everything related to summer and fiction. So tune in and join us for that. And everybody, I hope you have a fantastic week. You three, thank you so much again for being on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And we'll be seeing you soon. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful week.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.